Hey everybody, welcome to our Thursday tutorial. We are going to do a cute little Halloween sampler today and a treat box. I'm having a little problem getting started today. That's okay, we're just going to move right along. Before we get started, last week we had done a tutorial on using the shaving cream marbling technique. And we had made several cute cards. Let me see if we can get these on here. That one. Get from the front this one. Whoop, upside down. Cute coffee card. And then this one. And I also had a few extra marbling samples. And I did a drawing for everyone who shared last week. And our winner this week is Sharon Milburn. So congratulations, Sharon. I will have those for you tomorrow night at bingo. All right, so let me show you. I'm using my document camera, so it's kind of small. I'm going to show you what we're going to make today. It's this Halloween sampler. Now, this is a little different than we normally do. I actually have kind of a regular one that I'm going to show on my blog this week, and or I might show it next week. We're doing it at our retreat. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different for today. So if you notice, it's still 12 by 12. My piece of designer series paper is 9 by 9. And then we just did a little 3-panel sampler. So let me switch you over to our hands view. And we'll look a little bit closer at it. Okay, so I just did a 3-panel sampler. I'm going to add the dimensions and supply lists on my blog after I get this uploaded. But we used just the Ghoulish Goodies stamp set. And then I also used the Playful Alphabet dies. I love these dies. They're great for doing any words that, you know, may not be something that you already have. Okay, so let's get right to this. We're just going to work on our middle. So we have a piece of black, which is, I think, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. All right. Then we'll do our word piece first. So I have a piece that's 2.5 by 5.5 of Whisper White. And I've already pre-cut all my Happy Halloween letters. And I put on the back of the black glimmer paper some of our adhesive sheets so they'd be easy to stick. But I want to make a little guide so that it's easy to place them. So I have a little bit of, this is Post-it note tape. And I had used washi tape on my sample, but it kind of stuck. So I don't want that to stick. So I'm going to try the Post-it note tape. And I want it a little bit less than 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use my guide to make this about 3/16. Whoops, I didn't get enough. Hold on. I need a bigger piece. Let's try this again. Okay, that should be big enough. Okay, I want it about 3/16 of an inch from the bottom. So we will try that. Let's get this up so you can see where I'm working. Okay, so where's my piercer? There we go. I'm going to start with my first and last letters. We're going to do Halloween first. So you can use your pick tool to get the backing off, or you can just use your fingers. All right. I'm going to just put these on a little lightly so that if I need to reposition, it's easy. Okay. H. I have to spell these out or I won't spell it right. And they go together pretty, Halloween's a long word, so we have to stick these together pretty closely. This is another reason I didn't go into super detail on this one, because I know putting these letters on can take a little bit of time. Okay, J-L-L-O. Right, I feel like I haven't had coffee this morning. I did have coffee. Doesn't feel like it. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, this O, this is a big O. I can't tell if it goes one way or another. O, W. Okay. That O might need to go the other way. Let's see if we can get two E's in here. E and E. Okay, we can spread out just a little further, so that's what I'm going to do. Just move these over. Give ourselves enough room. Spread out our letters just a tad. W. Let's get this O. I think it might go the other way. Let's try this. It's a big O. Give these just a little bit more space and we'll be good. And the A right in the center. Perfect. Okay, so we've got our Halloween down. And we're going to move this off. I love this tape. I'm going to flip this around and do 3/8 from the top to put our happy down with. So the trick's to line up the grid paper and then line up on the grid and then put your tape down. And I'm not going to be able to put my letters on upside down, so I'm going to flip it around so we could see what we're doing. Now, on happy, that's 5 letters. So one of the P's is going to go right in the center. And the center of this is, it's 5.5, so it'd be 2 3/4. I'm just going to put my ruler here so I can see 2 3/4. And put my P right in the center of that 2 3/4. Right about there. Okay. All right. Let's get our other letters on and we will be ready. Get an A right here. An H. Once we get these letters on, everything will go so much quicker. Maybe next time I'll put my letters on first. So we don't have to go through this. Okay. P and a Y. All right. Nice. I love this black glimmer paper. Okay. Now the only thing we have left on this one to do is we're going to stamp a couple of these little spiders that are from this stamp set. I'm going to use some Memento ink. I've already stuck my finger in it. I want to make sure my spiders are pretty straight. They seem to be going a little bit to the right, so I'm gonna make them go a little bit to the left. We'll do one up here. Cute! Okay, so that panel is done. So our next panel, we are going to stamp the most spectacular time of the year. I like this sentiment. Whoops. Super cute. We used to, one year I took my Girl Scout troop to Pumpkin Hollow, which is kind of a haunted house, haunted corn maze, or corn maze and haunted house, and that was kind of their little theme, was spooktacular, so they would say spooktacular all the time. So that sentiment always reminds me of that. Okay. I'm going to stamp the vampire on some scrap paper. And we're going to trim him out and pop it up on this panel just to give it a little extra dimension. I always like to leave a little bit of a border so that it's not so bad if you mess up on cutting if you leave a border, because it doesn't really show up and it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So I always like to do a border. And fortunately he's not super detailed, so you don't have to, it's not going to take too long. Okay, if I had a die, yes, that would be better, but I don't have a die for this one. So sometimes we just have to bite the bullet and do a little bit of fussy cutting, right? Okay, get in between here. And his foot. Okay. So we are just going to pop him up right on this panel. And with this one I decided to go with black and white. I started out and I had a bunch of Halloween colors and I was just not feeling it. So sometimes just a simple black and white looks just real nice. Nice and clean. Alright. I had not used this little raven in a cage stamp set, so I wanted to use it on this one, or this stamp. I've used all the other stamps. Give that a second. And then I had previously, just to save a little bit of time, stamped ink with some Versamark, and then heat embossed that with some white embossing powder. And so I'm just going to flag the end of this. Maybe flag it a little bit better. Not quite so deep. Okay. And we'll see. I'm going to put them right about there. We'll just... This is a little tip. If you have a long strip, just kind of place it where you want and then trim off the end. And I think we'll pop this one up too. We'll put 2 little dimensionals on that. Okay, and that is all the stamping we are going to do on this one. So let's glue this down. We're going to start, let's get rid of that. I just ran out of my snail adhesive yesterday, and I have not gone downstairs to get another one. So we're just going to go with this. All right. Put this one up in this corner. Now, when I did this, these are 2.5 by 2.5, these small ones, and then the longer white one is 5.5 by 2.5. So we have a little more space in between, but that's okay because we are going to take some of this, what is this called? It's called Glittered Organdy Ribbon, which is my second favorite ribbon that we have. And we are going to tape this. Do I have tape? Maybe. I'm just going to take a little bit of Scotch tape and tape this around the back. Since it's just black and white, a little bit of sparkle is going to help this. So we have sparkle in the words. Now we have this great ribbon. And then we're going to add some rhinestones. Now I thought about using the iridescent pearls that we have that are in the holiday catalog, or in the July through August, or what is it? August through January? I'm going to call it the mini catalog. I was going to use the iridescent pearls, but they did not show up very well. So I decided to go with some rhinestones and just add some glitter. So I started with the largest, then the medium, and then we'll put 2 of the smaller ones right in the center. So I'm trying to just center these so they're in a nice row right there. Just for a little extra bling. Okay, so we're going to put this 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 on our designer paper, and then we will lay it on our 12 by 12. So I'm going to glue this really quickly. I'm going to start with the bigger piece. I love this designer paper, and I'll put all the measurements and supplies on the on my blog later today. And you could measure, this is like a 1.5 inch border all the way around. I am just eyeballing it because I just like to live dangerously sometimes. And with this Tombow glue, this liquid glue, I'm just doing a thin line. Okay, we're just going to eyeball this. Press it down and we are done. Isn't that just so quick and simple and sparkly? Love that. Okay, so I had a surprise bonus project I wanted to do with you. I had, I did something very similar to this for our bingo favors tomorrow night. I have my projects covered. So I'm using one of our 2-inch tiny treat boxes. They're 2 by 2 by 2. They come with this protective film, so I'm going to take this film off, and we're just going to start by assembling our box. So you open it up, and then on the bottom you put the little U shape in first, crease it, and then pop in your sides. You can hear them pop, and then this last piece right here goes in last and just clicks right in. All right, so what I did for this is I ordered a bunch of green Jelly Bellies. These are, I think, green apple. I'm going to put a little bit down at the bottom first, and I'm going to put, since this is a giveaway, I'm going to give away this with the drawing and the sampler. I'm going to put a glove on because I have to touch something. Okay, so I've got these creepy eyeball gumballs from Target. And take 2 eyeballs and put them facing out the back of my box. Why the back of my box, I will show you. So you can kind of see that right there. Okay, I have to kind of hold it down so they stay in place while I pour the rest of my Jelly Bellies in. See how many I can fit in there. I want it to be pretty tight, crammed in there. Okay, so now you can see my box. They're kind of looking upwards, but that's okay. They're pretty close to being, coordinated. Okay, so that's the treat. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. So we have green face and 2 eyeballs. So I have a piece of black cardstock, basic black cardstock. It's just over 4 by 4. So it's about 4 1/16 by 4 1/16. So I'm going to score this at 1 inch on all 4 sides. This is my score tool. I use this for everything. I score my cards with it. I score all my boxes, everything. Love that thing. Okay, so I've scored this on 4 sides. Now I'm going to cut tabs on opposite sides. So I'm going to cut a wedge on my tabs as well. And then I'm going to cut my tab in half. So I'm making these small tabs. Okay, and then on the opposite side, all right. Okay, so now I want to fold on my score lines. I'm going to put a little tear and tape on those 4 tabs. And tear and tape, where are you? I am not sure. Like I said, I'm having a rough morning today. And my chair keeps sinking. My office chair I'm sitting on keeps going down. All right, so we're just putting a little bit of tear and tape on each of these tabs. So we're basically making a box top that's going to go on top of our treat box. Okay, so we're going to put our tabs in, making sure our corners are nice and even. Last one right there. Okay, so on one side of our box, I am going to cut up, and I'm making some Frankenstein hair. So I'm just going to cut little wedges. Make them a little bit different so it's not so coiffed for his hair. Okay, so you can see I've cut just little wedges into there and made that just kind of a jaggedy look. So next I'm just going to pop that on top of my box. Oh my gosh, it's Frankenstein. I love this. All right, so let's make a little tag for it. I've got a piece of, here's a piece of white scrap paper. Let's use a different sentiment. Let's use Ghoulish Goodies. I'm going to use this punch. Let's see if that will fit in there. So let's grab a block, use our Ghoulish Goodies stamp set since Frankenstein's pretty ghoulish. Let's see, we'll just stamp right there in the center. Hopefully that's not super in the center. Let's use our punch and see if we can punch that out. Don't need it too far over. trim a little bit off the end. Ghoulish Goodies. Perfect. Okay. And then with this punch, it's got a little hole right here. So I can do a hole for my string. And I'm using a little bit of this black and white twine from the Playful Pet Suite. I usually don't like to cut it off until I've tied it. I'm going to do a half knot, and then let's see if we can get this in. That's the trick. I do have a little threader if I need it, but I feel like I can get it through without that. Yep. All right. So we've done a half knot. Let's see if we can tie this right on with the bow. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Ghoulish Goodies, a simple little tag, and a Frankenstein face. So whoever shares the video this week will be entered into a drawing for both this cute little Frankenstein treat box and our mini sampler today. And I just want to thank everybody for stopping by, and I will post instructions and measurements and a supply list later on my blog today. All right, thanks everybody for stopping by, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.